What's up, guys? Ready for some story? So yes, I've done my makeup ready. This is not get ready with me. I've tried to do a reel on this 5 times and it's ended up as 4 to 5 minutes each time. I cannot cut my story down. So I'm going to share it with you here. Yes, I've got a lot of sunburn also. I'm going to share it with you here in the hopes that someone takes something from it, you're inspired. Maybe you can give me some help. But honestly, I wanted to share this with you. So I phoned the doctor this morning. And let me backtrack. So I've been struggling for a long time, like years, with fatigue since COVID. Basically, I've had pretty bad fatigue, and it kind of improved. And the last like few months has been quite bad, like quite bad. Um, and so when I arranged an appointment today, there's other things like brain fog, mood, uh, uh, inflammation of joints. There's a whole shebang of stuff going on. So when I phoned the doctor, they were like, "Oh, you can speak to the nurse," and I was like, "Okay, great. Like that's fine. I'll speak to a nurse. I just need some blood tests. I got the list. She just needs to write down the piece of paper, print down, let me go." So this is where the fun happened. I went and I was in the waiting room. And she phoned me, and I was like, "I'm in the waiting room." She's like, "Oh, come down then." I was like, "What's happening?" Then I went in and I had this list provided to me by one of our coaches who is well versed in reading blood tests, understanding hormones, and obviously I've got my background in hormones also. So I went and I said to her, "These are the tests I want." And she went, "Why do you want those?" I'm like, "Well, because there's something wrong with me and I need to figure out what it is." Anyway, she argued with me back for. She's like, "Oh, what's the list?" You fucking just rolled your eyes at me. You're supposed to be professional. You rolled your eyes at me in your place of work. Can we backtrack and see what happened there? So I said, "I want this, this, this." She went, "You don't need that." I'm like, "Hmm?" She's like, "You don't need that test." And I was like, "Why not?" She's like, "'Cause you're young, fit, and healthy." And I was like, "Well, if I was fit and healthy, I probably wouldn't be sat here in the doctors, would I?" So she did not like me questioning why I couldn't have things. She didn't like me suggesting that I have specific tests. She argued with me. "Why do you want that? Why should you have that? Do you even know what that means?" I was like, this woman is rude, rude. So like, I don't mind that she's a nurse practitioner. I don't care about, oh, she hasn't got this qualification. I don't care, right? But I pay for the NHS. I want some fucking help. Thank you. And it really annoyed me. I was sat and she took a phone call halfway through as well, which is also fine. I don't care. But don't treat me with lack of respect. She spoke to me like I didn't have a fucking clue what I was talking about. She questioned everything. What's my background? What's my experience? I'm like, well, my experience is the hundreds of women across the UK that I speak to on a daily basis who struggle with their health because the NHS have let them down. Because nurses and GPs won't give them the tests that they need to prevent future problems. Instead, they wait until there's a problem and they have to go and be diagnosed, have to take medication for the rest of their life. There's a problem. So I went in with this list of like 8, 6, something like that, tests that I needed. And she argued with me, "You don't need this, you're fit and healthy." I'm like, "Oh my God, why are we having this conversation about me being fit and healthy in a doctor's surgery? Please sort this out." Um, she said, "You don't need this, you don't need that, you shouldn't want that, there's no point in having that." I told her, she said, "If it comes back within range, you're fine." I'm like, "This is not a good range. I'm going to look into where this range comes from because as far as I'm aware, is based on like general population people, and the general population of the UK is not healthy, right? We've got a health problem epidemic, right? The people in the UK are not generally healthy, so we need to look at what is going on there. And if it's within range, and they fob me off and they say there's no problem, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. So I sat there and argued and argued and argued for about 20 minutes in the surgery. And so it frustrated me even more because I thought, I know what I'm talking about. I know I'm stubborn as. And if I want something, if I want a result, I will get that result, wherever it takes. And luckily, I've got the experience, the knowledge, and the background to back up what I'm asking for. But a lot of you guys don't. And it breaks my heart. I spoke to my mum. I spoke to Cam even after this, and I said, like, I had to fight for this, for these tests. And both of them said I probably wouldn't have. And it makes me so frustrated and so upset that a lot of you guys will go into the GP or your nurse or whatever and say, I'm struggling with this and this and this. I think it might be this. And they're like, no, you're fine. You're like, okay, then. It blows my mind that GPs and nurses are allowed to tell you there's nothing wrong with you. Blows my freaking mind. Instead of helping you and trying to help you to understand, they would much rather argue and try and belittle you. That's how I felt. I felt belittled. So what I want to tell you guys is this is your plan of action, right? If you ever go to a GP or a nurse or wherever, write down your symptoms. Write down what problems they're causing in your life. Write down what you want as the outcome of that appointment. I want a specific blood test. Maybe you want a scan, an x-ray, whatever it's going to be. Maybe you just want some change of meds. Okay, whatever it is, make sure you know what you want before you go in. And then after you've explained what's going on, the symptoms, what you think it could be, that's another thing, get them to tell you again. Because actually, she didn't do that at all. She didn't reflect anything back. Maybe she wasn't listening. I don't know, maybe she's training and listening, but she didn't reflect anything back to me and say, hey, Faye, so I can see this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Is that right? And this is like communication 101. If any of you guys have been on a call with me, I do this all the time. Like, so you're telling me this. Is that right? People are like, yeah. Cool, you listen to me. Yeah, because I'm human. And I want to help you. So that's what you're going to go in with into a GP or a nurse or wherever, right? With. And if they fob you off and say, no, you don't need this, no, you're healthy, no, there's nothing wrong with you, don't leave. Like flat out, sit there like a pain in the fucking arse and be like, well, guess not leave until we figure it out then. It is your prerogative. It is your responsibility. It's their responsibility to look after your health, but it's your responsibility to fight for it. And it's not about self-advocating anymore. It is about full-on fighting to get the diagnosis, to get the help, to get the support that you need. Because if it was down to them, everyone, everyone would either be within range or on the pill. That's like the treat. She asked me, what did you do for conception? Don't even try. Do not even try to me to go onto the pill. Don't do it. Wrong person. So it's frustrating, guys. I know. And I've experienced it. I'm frustrated to hell. But I want you guys to know that it is your right to know what is going on in your body. I said that to her as well. I feel like it's my right to know what's going on in my health here. So please do not feel like because you're not qualified in health or fitness or medically trained or whatever, that does not mean that you don't deserve to ask questions and be answered and be treated like a human. So that's it. I'll try and wrap this up into less than a 60-second reel. Maybe I'll do like a little thing on it. Maybe I'll do a whole YouTube shebang on it when I'm talking about this from today all the way through to my results and my secondary test that's probably going to be needed, and then those results, and then my final thing, hopefully. Who knows? If you guys have got any questions, let me know. I'd love to hear if any of you have had a similar experience. Have you been fobbed off by a doctor or GP? Have you been made to feel like belittled or like you're dumb or like you don't deserve the respect or the help or the support that you are very much well entitled to? I'd love to know your experiences. So let me know if you've got any questions. And I'll speak to you guys soon.